Konnichiwa. Hi everyone, and welcome to Sakura CBD, where I typically talk about CBD, what kind of CBD I use, and how it affects me, and how it's helped me in my day-to-day life in Tokyo. But today, I'm going to talk about an extremely personal story, my life story, how I became the way I am, and it's going to be really hard. And I, from the beginning, have problems with speech. So please, I'm sorry for all the ums and all the stuttering, but um, because especially this is a personal topic, it's even harder to keep uh, straight, keep my story straight. So please excuse me if I backtrack or anything like that. So I'm gonna start at the very beginning of when everything started. When I was 13 years old, I was taken to a psychiatrist. But before that, I had been experiencing a lot of um, depression and anxiety because I had just moved to California. um, I went to a very pompous school. Is that what you would say? Um, a school filled with celebrity kids and kids who just did not accept me. They did not accept me for who I was. They thought I was just the biggest nerd. I wasn't worth talking to. I was just laughed at, and I just felt humiliated. So when I was 13, I was finally taken to a psychiatrist, and they prescribed me with Lexapro, which is an antidepressant, and both high dosages of Lexapro and high dosages of benzodiazepines, abrolazolam, which is known as Xanax commonly, and Ativan. And when I mean high dosages, I mean 4 to 5 times a day of like 2 milligrams. Um, I was 13 years old at the time, and I don't blame my parents one bit for this. They didn't know what to do. I was just so self-hating. I did not want to go to school. I there was nothing to do but to try the medical route. And so I went to a psychiatrist. And here's the issue. Psychiatrists don't care. Well, I'm sorry. That's not true for everyone. But in my experience, and I have been to more doctors than I can possibly count, but none of them have seemed to truly care about what I was going through, and they only cared about prescribing me medication. So when my father heard about um, the Xanax and the Ativan, he was the benzodiazepines, the benzos. He was extremely worried. So while taking the Lexapro, he um, allowed only when I had severe panic attacks to have one Xanax, which, you know, at the time worked. I would be able to calm down and fall asleep. Um, but here's the problem with benzodiazepines: the longer you take them, the less they work. And the thing is, I have been prescribed more and more and more and more benzodiazepines, more than when I was 13 over the years. And the more and more I've been prescribed, the less and less and less they've worked. And now they don't work at all, but I have to take them because of the withdrawal symptoms that come with not taking them. Um, so yeah, so then um, things started to get a little bit more serious, a little bit more worse in my situation with my depression. A lot of people were fat shaming me, calling me fat. I was a pig. I looked like a boy. I wasn't pretty. I love my best friends. I have two best friends, and I love them to death to this day. But they were, model like. They were beautiful, and everyone recognized that, and everyone recognized that I was the ugly friend. So the self hate simply grew and grew, and I just couldn't stand myself. And that's when I started to make myself vomit. Um, and I'll get back to that later, but it started off, you know, a little bit. Every once in a while, I would vomit and try to make myself feel better. Um, but no matter what, I just felt like I didn't belong. I felt like I was an outcast. I felt like I was a huge burden to my family because I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't go to school. I couldn't do anything. And all I can think about was how much of a burden I was to everyone, to my parents who I love so much, to my family, to everyone, my friends who, well, some have stuck by me and some have left because of my issues. Um, and then that's when the suicidal tendency started to begin. I started to cut, and I'm not, because I know a lot of people don't want to see anything. I don't want to trigger anybody. I know it's a very sensitive topic, but I have cuts all over my arms. But my go-to was to overdose, and I was set on overdosing. I wanted to die. I wanted to die, and I'll say this now, I still want to die. But I had numerous suicide attempts, and one time I took a bunch of pills and I took alcohol with it because I knew that that would make it worse. And I think this is the closest I got to actually succeeding. But um, fortunate, fortunately, my father found me as I was beginning to. I couldn't move my head. My body was paralyzed, and I was beginning to vomit, but I couldn't move my head, so I was gonna choke to death. My father just happened to go to my room and find me. He turned my head, and I was able to survive that. But that didn't stop the feelings of wanting to die, wanting to disappear from this world because I wasn't accepted. I'm not what society wants, and I'm not. I don't want to be a burden to anyone anymore, and I don't want to feel this pain anymore. And I still feel this way to this day. Um, so now I'm going to jump ahead to um, my grandmother. We could see her getting progressively worse, but so when it started to get really painful for her and she couldn't breathe without a breathing machine, of course she wanted to be at home, but so she had a breathing machine with her at her side, but she had asked to relieve her pain with marijuana. And my family is very accepting of that, but my grandfather, he's extremely. I love I love and adore him. He just follows the laws and the rules, and he felt that it wasn't right, and I don't blame him. It's okay. That's what he believed. He was his wife, her wife. Sorry. sorry, her husband, I'm sorry. And so we didn't uh she didn't get any, and it was a long process of her slowly not being able to breathe, not being able to speak, not being able to drink, not being able to eat. And so I would put cotton, like water on cotton, and put it on her mouth. And when I said my last words to her, I knew she was listening because there was just tears running down her cheeks. And it was just, I just, I just wish we could have somehow relieved that pain. Now jump to 4 months later, and I'm sorry if this is gonna be emotional for me, and I'm sorry, but jump to 4 months later, when the day our we were going to move to a different place, my father passed away out of nowhere. Um, and if you have a good relationship with your parents, that is your worst nightmare. I we got a call, rushed to the hospital, CPR for 30 minutes, which I watched, and then I collapsed, and they had to put me on oxygen because they pronounced him dead. And that was, and still is the worst thing. I can still just see, I still remember every little bit of it. And so just imagine how much worse that made my depression, how much worse that made my anxiety, my panic attacks. I was just, I didn't know what to do. Um, and then I started getting seizures. And no matter what MRI, CT scan, whatever, I went to multiple doctors. They found nothing wrong with me at all. So they just said, I don't know, it's stress related, which is possibly true. But I'll get back to the seizures later. And then I was able to go to a place where I could smoke marijuana, and God, it changed my life. Um, my panic attacks, zero. I was calm. I was relaxed. My insomnia, gone. I went to sleep within 10 to 20 minutes. My suicidal tendencies, I didn't think about suicide when I smoked. I didn't think about that at all. I was happy. I was calm. I was relaxed for the first time in so long. Um, and it stopped my seizures. I didn't have any seizures when I smoked. Now I had to move after that, I had to move to Japan to try to figure out what the heck to do with my life. I have been procrastinating, I have been grieving, I just have been in bed and not knowing what to do with myself without my father by my side. So I went to Tokyo. I'm half Japanese, my family lives here, so I decided to try. And marijuana is strictly legal here. Medical marijuana, no, just no. It's in the same category as heroin and crack and everything, and which is ridiculous, by the way. Um, and that's when my seizures began again. I began to have seizures, and I was hospitalized so many times, and um, I realized that when I was cut off from being able to smoke, that's when everything began again. Um, and Japan is an amazing country. I love the culture. I love the culture here. I love so many aspects of this country, but this country society is so under pressure. Everyone is about work, 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 how to provide for the family, what to they're so overworked, they're so stressed, but they push it down. And that leads to so many alcoholics in this country. The amount of drinking you see in this country is incredible. And smoking cigarettes. Um, so my question is, okay, so smoking cigarettes, giving me handful, just unbelievable amounts of medication, and smoking is okay, but medical marijuana, which is a natural thing, is not okay? What? I don't understand, and I want it to change now because I am tired. I am tired of being fired from a job because I feel like I'm having a seizure and I faint. I am tired of never getting out of bed anymore because if I do, I go outside, I immediately feel my heart race so fast and I can't breathe. I feel like I'm going to die. And I don't know when I'm gonna have a seizure. I don't know what's gonna happen. I was finally diagnosed with epilepsy, but they still don't know what else is wrong with me. There's still something going on. But the fact of the matter is I understand that there are people who cannot smoke weed because people who, I've read a lot about people who have schizophrenia and bipolar, that it can cause manic episodes, and I understand that. And I also understand that smoking too much will, and not going to your job, being lazy, and just not doing anything, just wanting to smoke all day and have fun, is not good either. It's extremely unhealthy. But why is medical marijuana not allowed? Why do cancer patients have to endure this horrible chemotherapy that makes you want to throw up all the time and you're in pain? And medical marijuana can help with that, and it's not allowed. Why someone like me who tries, and many people in this country, Japan has an extremely high suicide rate. People like me who want to die every day, who hate themselves, who have extreme severe anxiety and panic attacks and insomnia. And back to when said before, throwing up now is an everyday occurrence of throwing up. And after my father passed away, I lost 25 kilos. I'm sorry, I don't know how many pounds that is. I haven't been in America for a while, so I'm sorry for that. But 25 kilos is an extremely large amount to lose in a span of 5 months. And I was so skinny. I was fainting all the time. I had no energy, and it's still the same, to be honest. I just gained a little bit. I just try to gain a little bit more weight by trying to eat a little bit more or trying to exercise a little bit more. But still, the seizures, the panic, the constant cycle in my head that says, die, you need to die because you are a burden to your family, you are in pain, you want it to stop, so just die. And I just don't understand why why psychiatrists and why alcohol and cigarettes and these hospitals can allow so much medication to be put into my body and destroy my liver and probably kill me by the time I don't know, in 10 years, I don't know, because I have been on such high dosages. Why is it okay to do that, but not allow a natural plant to help solve these issues? Why is it in the same category as heroin and other drugs in this country? It makes me so sad to think about that, because it doesn't make any sense. And I know it's not the safest topic to talk about. I'm not smoking, I just, in Japan, but that's why I wanted to make these videos, because it's been so hard for me. I don't get out of bed. I don't have a job. I'm on, I'm, I'm, I can't do, I can't go anywhere, because if I do, I've had multiple times when I've collapsed on a train. I've, you know, I've been taken on an ambulance to the hospital. So many things. And if they only just legalized medical marijuana in Japan, then maybe the suicide rates would go down. Maybe people wouldn't be so stressed that they feel the need to kill themselves or feel shameful of themselves, which is the big thing in Japan, is to feel shame. Maybe if they legalized it, so many people wouldn't be so anxiety ridden, so suicidal, and recently it's been a big topic, but extremely skinny and bulimic, like I am. Recently, my bulimia has gotten a lot worse. I throw up 3 to 4 times a day. And I just don't want other people to go through that either. And I want this country to be a better country. I feel like medical marijuana, the people who are able to, I know there, like I said before, I know there are people who can't smoke weed. I understand that. I understand. But for people that it works for, it changes everything. And it can change the quality of life by so much. And my trauma, my anxiety, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of feeling like I am burdening my mother because I can't work. And I'm always depressed. I can never leave my house. I can never do anything. And a lot of people who might view this might see me as weak, but I don't see myself as weak. I see myself as someone who needs help, and medical marijuana is help, an extremely helpful way to overcome almost all of the things that I'm going through and so many other people are going through. So that's my story. I'm sorry that I probably missed a lot out that I wanted to talk about. I just had to talk about this because with so much research going on in America, it's starting to become legal, and Europe. Why can't we follow suit and understand that it's not a gateway drug to everybody? For some people, it's medicine, natural medicine that won't destroy your liver, kill your body, mind, and soul. Because everything I used to love to do, I used no interest. I am just depressed every day, every hour, awake all hours of the night. I can't eat, I can't do anything, I can't leave my house. So something has to change. Medical marijuana needs to be understood as a positive thing, not put into the same category as dangerous drugs. If you use it as a medicine, I think there's nothing wrong with that. There's an opposing side of using it as for fun and, but all in all, marijuana makes you relax for most people and calm. So what exactly is the issue here? That's my question, and I want it to change. So that's why I made this video. It's very personal, and it's a little scary to make. And I don't know who's gonna see this. People I know, I don't know what, but that's my story. That's what I'm still going through. And that's why I want to try to reach an audience and try to help people understand that this is a way to not destroy your body. This is a natural way to heal. That's all I have to say on this subject today. And thank you for watching. I'm sorry that it's very, it's not, what I would not normally post, except I just really started this channel. I want to actually next time, in my next video, talk about how the ratios of CBD and THC and how you can counteract the psychoactive parts of THC with CBD combined, so then you don't get, the really drowsiness or the high, and just get the pain relief, the pain relief, the inflammation relief, and just the mind relief. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you're interested in learning more about CBD in Japan, because I am very grateful that I at least have CBD to save me when I have my CBD vape when I have my panic attacks. But still, we need to move forward and understand and accept the fact that there needs to be a legalization in medical marijuana. That's all I want to say. Thank you so much for watching. Please tune in again. And that's all for now. Arigato. Sayonara. Bye, everyone.